All right, so we'll get started. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's workshop, Cybersecurity in Your Small Business, brought to you by Grow with Google. Grow with Google helps people grow their skills, careers, and businesses by offering free digital skills training and tools. I'll start by introducing myself, Desiree Riley, but some of you know me as Desi Speaks. I'm excited that you're here with us, and today we'll be talking about cybersecurity, why it matters for businesses of all sizes, and how you can protect yourself and your customers. That's me in Mexico for our Leaders in Playa event this May. It was awesome. Okay. So the following are some examples of spam messages. Let's start with some examples of common cyber attack attempts that many of us, if not all of us, have experienced. Have you ever received an email like this with the exciting news that a generous stranger gifted you $1.5 million? Sounds too good to be true, right? Emails like this have many variations. In this example, the sender wants you to know if he can trust you with wants to know if he could trust you with $10.5 million. If you respond with your phone number, he'll let you know what to do next. And cyber attacks are not limited to emails. They can surface in many forms, including text messages. I just got a text message today talking about some TikTok account recruitment agency. And it was from a random email address that had nothing to do with TikTok. And I don't know why they're texting me to recruit anyway. But attempts aren't always an obvious multi-million-dollar giveaway. You might be asked to just click on a link or renew a subscription or something that sounds familiar. It could be FedEx saying that we have a package for you at some random link, or something's being held up at customs, click a random link. It's not correct. This is an example of phishing, when a cyber criminal impersonates a brand or a person to trick you into taking an action that gives you access to your devices or accounts. I would definitely caution that this is a lot more automated these days with things like AI, and to be way more vigilant than we ever have been. Sometimes the communications are even threatening. This sender says they found illegal or even embarrassing content on your computer. Then they plan to let everyone know about it unless you transfer 13 and a half Bitcoin to their account. It can fluctuate, but that at the time that this email was received, that was worth about $20,000 USD. The blackmailer provides instructions on how to make the Bitcoin transfer, even with the little barcode. If you don't know how to purchase or transfer Bitcoin, you can use modern search engine or whatever. And best of all, they even offer you some parting advice. They suggest to you, keep changing all your passwords frequently. That's not shabby advice, but they're really just doing that to build rapport and credibility, even though they're the ones that are trying to scam you. In today's workshop, we'll show you some of the ways to create and manage strong passwords so you won't, quote, get caught in similar kinds of situations anymore in the future. This workshop will explain to you ways to improve your online business securities. We'll help you understand why cybersecurity matters for businesses of all sizes, show you ways to protect yourself and your customers online, and explain to you next steps in an event of a cyber attack. So let's get started. All of us have heard stories of computer security breaches over the years, especially recently. Systems are disabled and access to important data are even held for ransom. As the number of digital tools grow, they also become attack vectors for criminals and other bad actors, presenting another challenge for businesses. According to an online survey conducted by the Connected Commerce Council in 2022, 65% of small business leaders say that the data security and customer privacy are concerns for their business right now. In the same survey, 85% of small business leaders said that they have had cybersecurity plan in place, and that would make them feel more better and more comfortable using digital tools for their businesses over the next 2 years. There's no denying that there are bad actors out there, but there are also actions that you can take to protect your brand and your customers. And it starts by developing a cybersecurity plan. So what exactly is a cyber attack? A cyber attack is any offensive action that targets computers, computer networks, infrastructures, or smartphones. To get into these systems, the attackers look for vulnerabilities like weak passwords. Here's another way to look at it. Think of your computer, your phone, and online presence like a home. This home has different entry points, including your email, social media, a website, and more. Cyber cyber criminals test the entry points by attacking using automated tools to attack different entry points with computer code. It knocks on every door to see which one opens. Initially, a cyber criminal might not know or even care what's inside the home. They won't necessarily review the brand or the business for anything before attacking. They are simply checking for vulnerabilities which can be exploited. That's why it's important to not dismiss cybersecurity thinking that your business is too small for an attack. Most cyber criminals choose their targets by looking for technical signs that suggest vulnerabilities. These can include out-of-date websites that are built with less security, software that hasn't been updated, and technical vulnerabilities on employee devices. So how can you protect yourself? Let's start with passwords and identity. Please let me know if anyone has any questions. Feel free to engage in the chat. If you see me looking off to the side, I'm looking to see if there are any questions or hand raises or anything like that. But I'm here and this is live, so feel free to engage with me. And it's definitely welcome and enjoyed. So by now, many of you have heard advice about creating strong passwords. Let me know if you've heard it. Let me know if you had any questions about that. If your iPhone's always asking you to put some gibberish in there, it's in your best interest. It's helpful to review some basic tips. Make sure your passwords are difficult to guess. They should be long strings of characters that include letters, numbers, and symbols. Keep passwords private. Never share them with other people and use a different password for each account or service. Using different passwords that even if someone figures out a password for one account, they can't use it to access other accounts. Bonus tips. Make sure you use a strong password for your network Wi-Fi as well. So, have any of you seen the movie Beekeeper recently? Have Felicia Rashad in there and that guy from like all the action movies? Well, if you haven't, I believe it's on Amazon Prime. This is not an ad, but it was a really good movie, and it started off with like it was a whole ring of cyber criminals that were like looking at people through their webcams and like taking their passwords and using the passwords across all their accounts and wiping them clean like within a matter of seconds. It was so organized. There might be like dozens of people in one office, hundreds of people in various offices around the world. It goes up so high. So it's really, really important to know that. And I'm also, I could be guilty of this as well. Maybe it's convenient to like write a password down on paper or put it in your notes or reuse the same passwords, but it's not secure for you, especially if you're someone that values your privacy or your resources that may be stored online or in your accounts, bank accounts even. Perhaps easier way to manage your passwords is a tool called a password manager. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of a password manager. There are many options available, but they all essentially do the same thing. They can help you securely store and autofill your passwords, so it's easy to sign into your account. So you don't have to do things like write them down or reuse the same password over and over again or change one character every now and then because of convenience. Technology is evolving as with the cyber. Okay. We got a raised hand. I love it. Let's open the queue. Feel free to come off the mic and ask your question, or you can even drop it into the chat and I'll read it aloud.
How dependent is a password manager is? Because I mean, if it's something that we put onto our computer, can that be hacked as well?
I
If
think
so,
I think that's an excellent question. How secure they are. I do believe that Google's password managers are super encrypted as opposed to just reusing them. But I think that as technology evolves, honestly, I can't imagine that password managers would be totally invulnerable to attacks either. So I can imagine that, especially with AI and quantum computing and all these things and things that can decrypt things in a matter of seconds, I can't honestly say that it is it's foolproof by any means, but I do think it's better than reusing passwords. So it's probably like much easier, lesser two evils is much less of the evil. So I would say you can find different options for password manager. Like Google has the Google password manager that helps you create and save your passwords and autofill them. And it can also alert you if any of your saved passwords have been compromised. So that might be another perk to that it'll alert you if there's been any breach of their systems. And hopefully you can, hopefully it's not 3 o'clock in the morning, you're able to change your password really quickly or catch any of that stuff. But nowadays, I wouldn't even want to lie and to say that it's foolproof. To be totally honest, it's just like we just have to monitor everything all the time, and even regularly change your passwords. You know, some people like cryptocurrency, they might self custody. So maybe have your passwords written somewhere, they're all different, and put them into like some kind of hard storage device that you have in your own property, like a safe. That might be your best bet, but that will also still need to make sure you're using like those unique passwords, long strings, random letters that may look like gibberish. And that would probably be the safest option as opposed to doing an online password manager. Me personally, I don't have the capacity or the time to do that. I like to be able to just have that technology, and I don't think I have the level of resources that will warrant that. But if I was like a secret billionaire, best believe I'm having like my passwords written down and I'm putting them in a vault. So that's just my side from Google. That's my side opinion. That's not what Google says, but they do have tools, and I'm not gonna say they're foolproof.
Mm. Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, I do have a written some of my passwords written down, and my laptop at home, I have it on autosave, so it's auto saving the passwords and everything like that. However, I always worried about if, hey, let's say my computer got hacked. Is that hacker able to go inside my particular password app, or like you say here, and they're able to access it? So I've just been finicky in terms of that's like putting my full trust into technology. I'm
That's
an eight.
true. That's
I'm
true.
a eight,
I
but
do. No, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know if they'll be able to access your password manager because I think that Google's password manager might be held like it might be like in a cloud. I don't know if it's actually stored on your device, so that might be like it's in their more encrypted service than what we have available on our actual local devices. But I don't have the level of expertise to answer that question with 100% certainty. I think it's very wise what you're doing, having your passwords written down in your physical custody, just like we do with, self custody in your crypto or something like that. They say, not your keys, not your coins. If you don't have them in your hand, if you don't have that ledger or that hard wallet, in your custody, then it's susceptible. And I mean, and crypto is supposed to be, super secure. So I definitely think that what you're doing is a good idea, having them written down. But we have to plug the Google products. So it's probably the second best option is using a no cost option like Google Password Manager. If you follow what I'm saying here.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But thank you so much for that question. It was a perfect question. I'm sure other people that are watching, like on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook, may have similar questions, but they're not, here to ask like you are live. So I appreciate you. An extra security measure you can use to protect your identity, and I like this one a lot, is the two-step verification. It's inconvenient, I will say, but since they started using two-step verification, I have felt a lot more secure about my accounts. This feature, you might hear it called like multi-factor authentication, or MFA. Here's how it works. When you sign into a device or online account with your username and password, a two-step verification adds another requirement. Are y'all familiar with this? I'm sure everyone's seen it at least once, at least signing into Facebook or LinkedIn or something. Definitely Google. You can't sign in until you complete the verification step. This could be a code sent to your phone, a phone call that requires a PIN, You might even have them when you're calling like GoDaddy or something, or calling your bank. They're like, oh, we sent a code to your phone, or even like a shipping agency. We send a code. Can you click the link, or can you read out the code to us, just to make sure we're talking to the correct person? And sometimes it's a physical security key that you plug into your computer. Enabling the two-step verification means the account is protected by something that you know, like your username and password, plus something that you physically own, like a phone, a security key. This combination makes it more difficult for an unauthorized person to sign into the system. A two-step verification is useful for any service you sign into, like an email or password protected websites. If your business builds and sells online services or software, consider making two-step verification part of your product, giving your customers the option of using two-step verification to help them protect their accounts. Very important. If your business uses Google Workspace, your administrator has the option to enable two-step verification, like we do. The Mastermind Co-op uses Google Workspace. It's extremely helpful, especially if you have a nonprofit account. And we do definitely use two-step verification, which can sometimes be a headache, but it definitely makes us feel a lot more secure on the back end. If your data is especially sensitive, consider using a security key. They are the most secure forms of two-step verification and also protect against phishing threats. If you can purchase a security key, they start at about $30, or use your phone's built-in security key, available on phones running Android 7 or higher, iOS 10 or higher. And I use it a lot. Like when my MacBook Pro, I used to use my fingerprint, and it signs me into a lot of a lot of websites now. If anyone's going to ask if you steal my thumb, can you use it? I don't know. Don't steal my thumb. If you're using your using Google's consumer tools like free Gmail, you can also turn on the two-step verification at your Google account. In either case, you're making it much more difficult for cyber criminals to access your account. If you use Google Workspace, you have an administrator account or admin account, even if it's just you. This is really, really helpful. An admin account has the privileges to manage your services like Gmail or Google Docs, or for people in your organization. Everyone has an associated Google Workspace account. So I might have an admin account, but I'll be able to add users. I'll be able to turn on certain things. Like if I want to turn on AI tools, I want to turn on like calendar sharing and different things like that. Your administrator can take a lot care of all of those type of things. Especially like us, we don't have a dedicated IT person, so it's just me. I'm the admin, and so if you have your Google Workspace and you don't have a dedicated IT person, you're most likely the admin, like, or the super admin. And you can even give other people on your team admin access. Be very careful who you give admin access to, because they can shut down your whole business if they're not well vetted and someone you trust within your organization. Here are some tips to help set up the admin for Google Workspace for security success. First, limit who can see newly created files. You can control who sees files created by users in your organization. You could turn off link sharing and make sure that only the user who creates the file can open it until they explicitly share with other people. You can also add automatic warning if a file is shared with someone outside of your organization. Very helpful. Another tip, limit how users share their calendar. Company calendars can contain sensitive information, so you might want to restrict calendar sharing so external users cannot see event details. Finally, do not get locked out of your account. If you set up a recovery phone or email address, Google could send you a new password by phone, text, or email. You can go, you can get step-by-step instructions to manage the security options in the Help Center. You can go to, there's a link here, and I'll copy that and put it in the chat here. But it's basically Grow with Google at Workspace Security. So I'm going to put it up here in the chat. I said, excuse me as I look at these multiple screens, but you can learn more there. The Google Workspace Administrator sets up security options that apply to everyone in the organization, but individual users can also add their own restrictions. For example, if you share a file with another person, you can control whether they can edit it, comment it, or only view the file. After you share a file, you can stop sharing at any time. You can also control if people you shared with change the permission, if they share the files with others, or people with viewer or commenter access can download, print, or copy the file. And that's super helpful too, because you might be sharing something that you just want people to look at. You don't want them to download it or forward it or share with anybody else or print it. You might want them to only be able to view it. And so that's extremely helpful. Now, don't ask me if that includes screenshots. It's a great question and I don't know the answer. Now that you've learned some ways to protect your passwords and identity, let's talk about protecting your equipment, apps, and data. Let's start with some basic tips. First, never leave your computer unattended. Even in your workplace, you should keep your computer private. One option is to enable a screen lock. It's a security feature that requires a password to access data and programs on your computer. That way, if you step away from your computer for a few minutes, the lock screen keeps your work private. They remember back in the day, you used to have screensavers and screen protectors. I come back, put my thumb in there. Again, don't take my thumb, but you can put your thumb on there and everything opens back up. Sometimes, like I have a watch, it'll also help me unlock my computer. So that might be something that's helpful for people. But again, if someone has your watch, I'm not totally sure of that, will be in your best interest. So consider all of those things if you want your computer to be unlocked by your watch. I'm usually the only one around my computers aside from my children. I work from home most of the time, so I don't really have to worry about someone in a workplace or someone in a cafe. I'm looking over my shoulder. If you're responsible for distributing computers to employers or colleagues, make sure that they access only the devices that are assigned to them. In addition, people should have access only to the tools that they need for their jobs. For example, a sales team might need access to inventory records, but not payroll data. If system if system access is limited, there's less risk to the business if the device falls into the wrong hands. So I know a lot of times we trust people, we want to give them access to everything because roles might change, but consider limiting permissions and allowing the permissions to evolve as the role evolves, and take away permissions, if a role totally changes or they leave. Finally, make sure your hardware comes from a trusted source before using it. For example, if you find a USB stick on your desk and you're not sure where it came from, do not put it into your computer. I know it sounds pretty like, 007, but it's real. You have to be careful because you never know who is looking for access to your computer. It could be a nonprofit and someone might just be looking to compete with you, and they just might be looking to steal some of your program files so they can duplicate it. You're never too big or you're never too small to be stolen from. The same considerations apply to mobile devices. If your colleagues and employees can access company information via smartphone or tablets, consider creating a mobile device management policy. The policy could include requiring employees to encrypt their devices, requiring a PIN to unlock them, allowing remote wiping of data. If you allow employees to access company data from their personal devices, consider what would happen if the device is stolen, lost, or the employee leaves the company. One solution is remote data wiping, a feature that enables an authorized person to send a command that completely erases all stored data on a device. This option could protect a company's assets and reduce the risk of data breach. Now that you know some ways to protect your equipment, let's cover a few other safety precautions that can protect your apps and your data. First of all, make sure that all of your operating systems and software are up to date. It is important to use supported software that allows you to run regular updates. When possible, enable auto updates so you have the latest security fixes as soon as they're available. Review your devices. Are there any apps you don't need? If so, remove them. Not only can they make your devices less secure, they definitely slow you down. One thing I also do is I like to turn off my background at refresh because I realize that it slows, takes a lot of the Wi-Fi bandwidth or, your cellular bandwidth, and it also runs your battery down. So, different things you can do for device health and security. Finally, if you're responsible for distributing computers to employees and colleagues, establish policies that limit what data can be stored on their devices. Again, if a device contains only the necessary information for someone to do their job, there's less risk to a company if it falls into the wrong hands. And I learned a lot of this when I was working for a defense contractor, and they gave us our laptops, they gave us our cell phones, but everything was super encrypted. Like everything was super secure. I think they were even remote viewing the devices at various times. So it was a lot to learn there from their level of security. Many of these security precautions can be addressed by using cloud-based computing systems like Google Cloud. Google Cloud powers more than 100 products and services, from financial services like products to gaming. If you use Google Gmail or Google Workspace, you're already using it. So I think that goes to your question. Is it David? I'm not sure. I think Mr. Olahide. Yeah. Excuse me if I'm saying your name incorrectly. Cloud protects your information.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Elijah Day. It's okay though.
Elijah Day. Elijah Day. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful last name. Um, Cloud protects your
Appreciate
information, identities, applications, and devices using the same secure by design infrastructure, built-in protection, and global network that Google uses to run its businesses. So I think this kind of ties into your question.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
data is the data is encrypted in transit between Google's facilities and at rest, ensuring that it can be only accessed when authorized. Google's top priority is security. These systems undergo independent verification of security, privacy, and compliance controls. So far, we've covered protecting passwords, identity, hardware, and apps. Now let's talk about some ways you can protect your customers and your business too. Securing your website and protecting web pages from unauthorized access. Restrict website edit access to people responsible for making those updates. Many sites are edited via web-based content management systems that are accessed with a username and password. That's where your password safety tips come in handy. If two-step verification is an option, consider turning that on. Another way to protect your site is using HTTPS. Sometimes the easiest way to explain is looking at it. If your computer or smartphone handy, you have it handy, pull out a website. Any website will do. Look at the URL at the top of the browser window. You'll see that the URL starts with HTTP or HTTPS. Without getting too technical, the prefix allows browsers to load web pages. HTTPS is the same as HTTP, except the S stands means that the website is secure. That makes sense?
Yes.
HTTPS, thank you. HTTPS tells a browser to encrypt the data exchanged with the web page. Encryption disguises data and lessens the chance that information is viewed or manipulated by unauthorized people. Adding this security protects customer data and is viewed or exchanged via the website. This is especially important for personal details or financial information. But it's a good idea to use HTTPS even if your site doesn't handle sensitive information. To use HTTPS, you need a secure certificate. Most likely, your website hosting provider offers this feature. If they don't, you can buy a digital certificate from a company that sells them, called a certificate authority, and install it yourself. One final reason to use HTTPS, apart from the security benefit, using it can improve your website's ranking in search engines. For example, Google Search uses HTTPS as a positive ranking system. Very, very cool. Google Workspace includes a website builder tool called Google Sites. Incidentally, this is available as a consumer product too. Google Sites automatically includes a secure certificate. You don't need to pay for it. Again, this security measure protects customer data that is viewed or exchanged via the website. Google Sites can be used as external sites or share it with the world, as internal sites or share with the world. You can control it and see and edit it. You can learn more at google.com/sites. So let me add that here into our chat. And if anyone, before y'all jump, I want to give you all a tool to get some free Google career certifications too. So don't leave too quickly because I have a handout for you as well as a link to access free Google career certifications. at the end of the presentation. We're most of the way through it.
Some of the slides are very helpful. Are we to get some of them by
I
any
can email
chance?
the slide. Sure.
Yeah,
Would you like
because
that?
yeah, especially where you have like user password manager, you have some information there I just couldn't write down fast enough. So I'm trying to write down
Okay.
everything I'm trying to write everything down as fast as possible. At that point. So just to
No, no, I understand. I'm
thank you.
actually, let me right now. So maybe you could follow along. I'm going to I want to get some tools for y'all real
Okay.
quick. Thank you for your patience.
Thank
I'm
you
gonna
for teaching us.
I'm
Appreciate
gonna
it.
try to put my fingerprint on there, put my thumb on the I'm logging into something right now so I can get y'all a handout. So this might be helpful to follow along. And if anyone is watching on the other platforms, I'll just go ahead and put a link to the handout or upload it there as well so that everyone can engage with the material. All right, cybersecurity. I get this. Please. All right. So the handout. This might have some of the information you're looking for too. Okay. All right. I'm gonna put a link in the chat. Let me know if it works for you. The handout. It's a Google Doc. Everything's Google. Oh, Google everything. All right. Were you able to access that? Let me know. You're gonna give me a thumbs up or something if you are.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Woo-hoo. All right, cool. Protecting your business online doesn't stop with your website. Another area of consideration is your email provider. Choosing a provider that supports encryption, transport layer security, TLS, is an important step toward protecting your business and your customers. By default, Google always tries to secure TLS connection when sending email. However, a secure TLS connection requires that both the sender and the recipient use TLS. If the receiving server doesn't use TLS, Gmail still delivers messages, but the connection isn't secure. When in doubt, do not open a suspicious email. Period. Unsolicited email is called spam. Excuse the tongue ties. Sometimes spam is simply an online version of a cold call. Sometimes spam can be a cyber attack attempt. Remind colleagues and employees to be careful when clicking on email attachments, downloading files, or visiting new URLs. Never click on links in unsolicited emails. I mean, I wish I could bold these for you. Look out for suspicious sender email addresses and email signatures, and never share personal information such as usernames and passwords, social security numbers, and credit card numbers. Never, never, never. I'm going to copy these and put them in the chat because it's important to see this. Never, never, never. One common type of email attack is called phishing. In a phishing attempt, a cyber criminal impersonates a trustworthy brand or person to trick you into taking an action that gives them access to your business or customers. For example, they might try to trick you into installing a malicious piece of software called malware that will give them full access to your computer data. Or they might impersonate a credit card company in order to steal your username and password or other financial information. Phishing attacks can target an individual person or be broadcasted to a larger group. And phishing is not limited to email. It can happen in a variety of places, including text messages, messaging apps, and websites, including WhatsApp. I get a lot of phishing in WhatsApp, especially if you're a part of WhatsApp groups or you're admin of groups. I recently had someone so I have a group on WhatsApp in Mexico, and it's basically just for family. But we have like almost everyone is an admin that has been there since like 2020, 2021 or so. So one of the people, I guess, they got their phone hacked, and she went through and basically the person that hacked her went through and like took all the other admin off and just started like spamming the group all crazy. I think she just couldn't remove me because I was like the one that started the group, but literally like basically kind of like destroyed the group. People were leaving. I didn't understand because I'm not in Mexico. I wasn't really keeping on top of it, but they let me know. And I basically had to remove that person, let the person know, re-add the correct number, and make the amends again. But it was really inconvenient. And that's just WhatsApp. That's just a free group, just a social network basically. But imagine if that was my business. Imagine if that was like an entire enterprise. So, one person gets hacked, it's literally like a weak link in the chain. To make matters worse, phishing attacks can be fairly sophisticated and the communications may appear legitimate at first glance. Let's take a look at how you can identify suspicious emails. And sometimes you can't identify them. I've gotten some recently from Shopify where it gave me a link and I almost gave them my information. They're like, there's something on your website that is a copywritten and we need you to verify it or we'll take down your store. And I was so scared. And then I was gonna and I ended up emailing Shopify directly, like in a screenshot, like, is this from you all? Because I'm really about to submit my information through this link to see if I'm having copywritten material on my on the website. And they confirmed that it wasn't, and I was able to share with them the email address it came from. It looks very Shopify. Even the email address has Shopify, has Shopify logo in the address bar and in the picture. So sometimes they can be very, very sophisticated. Nowadays it's hard to catch them because a lot of them are AI generated, so they're not just humans in a bank. Sometimes it could just be bombarding millions of people simultaneously nonstop, because that's just how the nature of artificial intelligence is. It doesn't need a rest. Spam emails, malicious or not, can be difficult to spot, but there are some warning signs that can help you make a decision about whether it's safe. Unfortunately, each of these signs does not necessarily indicate that the email is spam. Sometimes it's a combination of signals that will tip you off. First, is the email from a sender you recognize? Check the display name. Does it match the email address you expect? Give the display name. If the display name is your well-known financial institution, but the email address is give me your money -1234@gmail.com, it's a good clue that this might not be a legitimate email. Also, review the subject line. Many spam messages inject a sense of urgency, like I just said about Shopify, hoping you take action. The email might literally include the word urgent in all capital letters. Sometimes, like the example shown on the slide, the subject line will warn you about an unexpected expense. Some email programs like Gmail offer the option to select an identity photo. If you know the sender and note the absence of their profile photo, it's another warning sign. But nowadays, they're also putting up legitimate photos, as I said with Shopify. So, they're very sophisticated and they know about these type of presentations. They know people are becoming more aware, and their tactics are evolving. The next clue, poorly written copy. This will be a judgment call on your part because even the biggest brands can make spelling or grammar mistakes. But if you're missing a sales email, you're not really missing much anyway, to be honest. But if the phrasing is awkward, if the sentences don't read naturally, it's a sign that the email text might be a product of a translation tool and possibly spam. Take a look at the subject line of the email shown on the slide. Invoice has been done and will charges dues. That should be a big red flag that this is not a legitimate email. Finally, be very careful about attachments. Never, ever click an attachment on an email that you suspect is spam. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Let's look at another cyber attack attempt. It's a tricky one. Take a look at these two screenshots. Both appear to be from Google, asking you to input your two-step verification code. That will provide access to your account. Can you spot the fake? Can anyone spot the fake, the difference in these two emails?
Where it says unknown at example.com looks more fake than a person Smith at example.com.
And you see the picture? No picture there?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Here's a closer look at the fake. Yeah, you hit it. You hit the nail on the head. Here's a closer look at the fake version. The first thing you'll notice is that you don't recognize the person. We dropped the clue using unknown sender. Also, there's no profile photo with the email address. Another clue that might help you identify a fake. The clue that clinches is the URL. It's really tricky because at first glance you think you're looking at https forward slash accounts.google.com. That's Google URL. But if you take a closer look, you'll see that the character next to it after the .com is not a forward slash. That's what you need if you need to see the domain name ending in .com. You see? It has another HTTPS. So it's the URL was just like totally adjusted to make it
So
look
be
like it.
so being that the HTTPS is in the middle of the address, we
Yeah, they
put
have one in the beginning and then they have another one that leads to the actual.
yeah.
So it just kind of like was like we call it like a decoy. You know,
Okay.
they think that whoever's just looking really quick and first glance is going to see the Google, but they're not looking like it's not google.com. It's google.com slash a whole nother website at the end.
Okay, makes sense.
.tn, which is not at all Google. It's just basically like a decoy Google.
Mm.
It's hitting it. They're getting smart with it. Google's email product, Gmail, provides a high level of security, protecting businesses and users from spam, phishing attacks, and malware by filtering out harmful email. Google blocks an estimated 10 million spam emails every single minute. Wow. 100 million phishing email attempts every day. That's crazy. Gmail is available for free as a free consumer product, and also powers Google Workspace, a productivity suite built for businesses. And again, we have that, and I think it's super useful. We even have like 100 terabytes of data for storage, and that's for a nonprofit account. Google Workspace accounts also include the optional free service advanced protection. People who have at-risk accounts can contain particularly valuable files or sensitive information. They should consider getting that advanced protection. The advanced protection requires a security key to verify your identity and sign into your Google account. You would need to buy a security key if you don't have one, and they again are about $30. The advanced protection is different from the two-step verification because the second step is always a physical security key. Um, in addition, it limits third-party app access to your data, puts stronger checks on suspicious downloads, and tightens account recovery security to help prevent unauthorized access. Google strongly recommends that for like journalists, activists, business executives, and people involved in elections that would enroll. And I could put a link to that, or a link to some of those stats on Google security. Okay. Bottom line, think before you click. When in doubt, do not click. Finally, let's consider this proverb. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I feel like my mom has said that before. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And that applies to way more than just cybersecurity, if you know what I mean. That holds true with most things in life. It's important to have a plan ready in case you detect a security problem. Stay ready. I said we stay ready. A data breach response plan outlines who's in charge and what needs to be done if sensitive or confidential information is viewed or stolen by an unauthorized person or persons. This response plan can protect your business assets by ensuring that action is taken quickly if things go wrong. Por ejemplo, for example, in the case of a ransomware attack in which cyber criminals, I hate that word, as cyber criminals steal sensitive data and then demand a ransom for its return, a solid response plan would include making sure you have recent data backups, taking the time to make a clear plan in advance so everyone understands exactly what steps to follow if a security incident occurs. Again, if you have a small team, this may be easier, but it's definitely something that you need to have in place as your team grows. I was having a meeting earlier with the beautiful team over there, our friends at Roll Initiative. Shout out to you all. And we were talking about so many things. And as their team is growing, it's beautiful to see. Roll Initiative. It's you could definitely imagine as a team is growing and you're posting those recs and you're getting volunteers, making sure that you develop also a clear plan in case of a breach, or someone just even trying to compete with your program, non-competes and all those type of things in place is going to be essential. Another step you can take to protect your equipment, software systems is create a record of your technology assets. Which platform, tools, and software are you using? What accounts like social media do you have? Don't forget your suppliers and customers as well as employees. During your inventory, you might want to discuss what out of the date softwares you might have, which are definitely a potential target for those cyber criminals. Answering these questions will help you develop an asset inventory, an important step for improving your online security. You don't want to train your employees. You do not want to wait to train your employees about cybersecurity while you're experiencing a cybersecurity breach. You have to get it done in advance. You have to stay ready. We have to be prepared on all fronts. You might want to designate someone at your business to be responsible for outlining those policies and procedures and establishing the SOPs, and have them stored in your workspace and distributing them or training and things like that. You can create an internal training website where security information and resources are available, which would be really, really helpful for you. Training and resources are a great start, but it's just as important to make sure your company has a strong security culture. Employees are the first line of defense. Ideally, they feel comfortable about reporting concerns or mistakes without fear or blame. In the event of a cybersecurity breach, the focus is identifying and resolving the issue and preventing similar problems from happening again, and not pointing fingers. So you can build a security culture by discussing security regularly, encouraging employees to share concerns, and making sure that the company leaders are good models for security practices. Think about the security culture at your business. How can you make improvements? What is it? Or people be fearful to share when they've made a mistake or a slip, or they click the link? Having a system in place where if they get a suspicious email, who are they sending that to? Who's aware that there potentially is someone phishing for your information within your community? So that's really important to have, like a reporting system, I would say, as an aside. Consider this scenario. Despite your best security efforts, you are the victim of a cyber attack. Perhaps you inadvertently clicked on a link in a phishing email, or your account was hacked. Maybe you don't even know how your systems were breached, but you notice suspicious activity on the account. You may even suspect that you have been attacked. You may take proactive steps immediately. Start by telling your IT department what happened. For many small businesses, the IT department might just be you, like me. Contact all financial services where you have accounts, including your banks and credit card companies. Check closely for any activity you don't recognize. Report fraudulent activity immediately. Close or place holds on any accounts that you suspect may have been compromised. Check your credit report for new accounts that you didn't open. You can request a free credit report from each of the three nationwide credit bureaus every 12 months. Report any fraudulent accounts or loans you don't recognize, and consider protecting your credit by placing fraud alerts or freezing your credit. And I'm going to go ahead and put a link to the government's cybersecurity readiness initiative here as well. After securing your bank and credit card info, report the attack to the appropriate agencies. First, file a report with your local police so there's an official record of the incident. The next step is to file a report with the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. Cyber crimes reported here will be investigated and referred to the appropriate agency. To file a complaint, please visit www.ic3.gov. And I'm going to put that also in the chat. Again, you're going to get these slides for those who have registered online. If the security breach involved fraud, scams, or bad business practices, contact the Federal Trade Commission at www.reportfraudftc.gov. If you find any fraudulent activity on your credit report and have reason to believe someone is using your social security number, you can also file identity theft report at www.idtheft.gov. Two more links getting dropped. That last one is a little wonky. And put a www in front of it. These are the benefits of joining the sessions live. You get the links and the questions. Depending on the situations, the steps you take will vary. If you're experiencing a ransomware attack, you should immediately disconnect the affected device from your network. Very good. Don't freeze. Take action immediately. If data was stolen or compromised, you should take steps to protect your company and inform customers that their data was involved. That's integrity. Important. No matter what type of cyber attack you experience, it's smart to change your passwords. If your equipment or systems are compromised because of malicious software, you may need to seek professional technical support. Do a search for a managed security support provider to see options for companies that may be able to help. And continually monitor your credit and financial accounts. Recap and resources. So we're going to recap some of the topics discussed today and look at a few Grow with Google resources. First, use strong, unique passwords for your account. Consider using a password manager. Use two-step verification whenever possible. Keep your equipment safe, including mobile devices. Secure your website using HTTPS. Use secure email provider. Don't wait for a cyber attack to happen to figure out what you will need to do. Make a plan and create a list of your tech assets. Stay ready. And finally, get your employees and colleagues on board by developing a culture of security. You can learn more about online security by visiting Google Safety Center. From here, you can access features like two-step verification, automatically deleting web and app activity data, setting parental controls to keep your family safe online, and running an account security checkup, and much more. To get to the Safety Center, visit safety.google. And I'm going to put that here. I'm going to pull up my computer again. If you enjoyed these video sessions, subscribe to Grow with Google YouTube channel at YouTube at Grow with Google. The channel publishes videos and covers topics that can help you grow your skills in career and businesses. I'm just dropping links. All right. Okay, if you're looking to start a new career and land a competitively paid job and grow your skills in your career, check out Google Career Certificates. And this is something I was talking to you about earlier. I'm going to change my screen real quick because the Mastermind Co-op, as I said, offers the basically a scholarship to get these certificates free of cost. You can actually take up to 1,000 courses with our grants. This is a link right here. I just put it in the chat. That's a form to sign up. And I'm also going to send you a link so you can just preview the program. It's called the Collective Genius Expedition, the one that we've curated. And copy this link address. So this is a link to the program I'm posting here. And the previous link is the link to sign up for the program. So you'll look at the link for the program and it'll say something like you're not currently signed up. All you have to do is go to the first link that I sent, and that's going to give you access to sign up. And then you'll get a direct invitation to the program. At that point, you'll be able to sign up for programs like project management, Google AI Essentials. These are all accredited courses, accredited certifications. You can put on your resume, on your LinkedIn. If you're a justice impacted person, I just got a link today to get a LinkedIn premium account. So let me know if you would like that. I could send you that email for the LinkedIn premium accounts because those codes are running out and I think they expire on the 18th, but it gives you a full year of LinkedIn premium. I think that's super added value. But going back to these career certifications, they can give you a path to in-demand jobs with top employers that are currently hiring. You can earn a certificate and prepare for a new career in a high growth field in under 6 months, even if you don't have relevant experience. You can learn at your own pace and complete the online programs on your own terms. Data analytics, business intelligence, advanced data, e-commerce and marketing, IT support, cybersecurity, project management. As I said, I've taken some. They're super cool. Here's the link for it. Again, ours is free as opposed to paying $49 a month through Coursera. You can do them super, super free. Since we're talking about cybersecurity today, I like
That's
to
what
mention.
that's what I wanted to ask you too, because yeah, I thought y'all would teamed up with Coursera. Cause I remember when it was free, and I was
Yeah.
trying to get some stuff done, but all of a sudden Coursera got involved with it, and then it was asking for a a membership fee. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
into the free. We like free 99.
yeah, it was. So you did used to be free, yep, and now all of a sudden they're charging. I think it's like $49 a month now for the subscription.
It is. Yes,
If
it
you
is.
want to get certifications, like you could audit. So people are like, oh, you can do it for free. Like, no, you can audit the course for free, but you can't actually get any certifications for free. Like none of
Mm,
your you won't be able to have it like you're certified, but like they give you a certification which is accredited through Accreditly, and it's and they also have a cool consortium of employers, like over 150 employers that Google has connected with that are hiring people that have these certifications. So if you sign up through organizations like the Mastermind Cooperative, we do sponsor that for you, so you're able to get those certifications free of cost. And that will be the second to last link that you see here in the chat. And that's just basically a Google form where you give me like your name and your email address, and I send you the link directly. You can start learning today. And then when I get a notification that someone is submitted through the form, I try to actually get them the link within like the next hour or two. So it's not like you'll be waiting like days or weeks or anything like that. Um, so so since we're talking about cybersecurity, there is a cybersecurity essentials course now hosted through Coursera, and it provides a quick introduction to cybersecurity. It's designed for business leaders, technical sales professionals, engineers, and consumers. The Google Cybersecurity Action Team developed this 10-hour course for those who want to gain a better understanding of potential threats and that impacts the business. All right, so grow with Google.
I want to do that.
What'd you say?
I want to do that.
Okay. Do you have that link there?
I already
The grow
started. I already told it already.
You did already? All right. I got you. As soon as I wrap up, I'm gonna send it to you. I promise. I promise. Okay. So job seekers, teachers, people that are re-entering, people that have, justice impacted, are returning citizens, all of that. So I'm really grateful that y'all joined. And you know, there's a link to a survey here. You want to
Okay.
give any feedback about this workshop? Thank you. Major shout out to our supporters, Mastermind team, and those here have visited from the Roll Initiative. Thank you all. Looking forward to working with you all more. And you can I guess this meeting is adjourned. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you. Much
Yes, ma'am.
love.
Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
peace.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.